Alright guys, welcome to Memphis City's top 4. On the left we have Kenton Anderson. On the right we have Scott DeGraw. And why is that mouse right there? Please go away. Goodness gracious. Go away, mouse. Please go away. Alright, let's see if this goes away. Alright, there we go. So we are, we'll just wait to see if everybody start. We know on the left, Kenton is playing his Gengar Walls deck, and on the right we have Scott DeGraw playing Seismatoad. So here we go. Oh, double Mewtwo start. Holy cow. It's like we're having Mewtwo Wars all over again, kids. Alright, so we see Ultra Ball. Gets a Gengar turn 1. So Kenton's saying something that's pretty good. But for those who don't know, Kenton loves Gengar. He played it when the Shadow Skip one, or whatever one, which one it was. There we see, holy cow, Kenton has an amazing turn 1. Alright, let's see what else he can capitalize on. So there's Sigilyph. If Scott can't get his Garbodors out early, he can never hurt the Sigilyphs, except from poison from the Burbanks. There we see we just passed from Kenton. Can't do much turn 1. There you go, Scott's turn, touches DCE. Crushing Hammer. Oh, gets the heads on the Gengar. We see a sleep check. Lands in a bag. Gets a heads. Scott's 2 for 2 for flips right now. Holy cow, 100%. That Metagross coin is flipping heads for days. But we see a Kitten's hand. Well, we don't see it. But if he gets a DCE and a Muscle Bend, he can one-shot this Mewtwo back. It's always scary to attach this DC to Mewtwo. Scott is going to put pressure on his Mewtwo, saying, like, look, oh, we do see a DC in Kitten's hand. Holy cow. Now what Kitten needs to do is wake up, get a DCE, and Kitten be on a roll. See what happens here. He gets a Jirachi. Question is, does Scott get a Juniper? And for those who don't know, Jirachi lets you start your deck for a supporter card, put it in your hand. You don't have to play if you don't want to. So here we see a Juniper. Sorry, I got a text, kids. Alright, so we're going to see a Juniper. Scott really needs to get a Sigilyph out. Or not a Sigilyph, a Garbodor out to shut off Sigiliph's ability. So we see Scott had another Crushing Hammer in his hand too, so if he hit Tails, he is going to try it again. But Scott's down 2 Crushing Hammers. There's a Toad, there's a Trubbish. Alright, and imagine Scott just X-Balls for 70. Yep, sleep check. And heads. Alright, we're flipping heads for days, kids. So we see a Float Stone. 20, 40. Oh, we're both bad. Me and Ken are both bad at math. Both bad at math. So here's the question: does Ken attach the DC to Mewtwo or not? If he attaches the DC, he can one-shot this Mewtwo back. Question is, does he want to do that? How many Muscle Band does Ken play? So let's see here. So we see, and so I guess he's scared to attach the DC. Maybe he knows he doesn't play that many Muscle Bands, and he doesn't whiff, and Scott just kill his Mewtwo. But Scott next turn he's gonna have to get the Garbodor out too. If he gets the Garbodor out, he can one shot the Sigilyph. Also, since Kenton does play Psychic Energies, he can knock out Mewtwo with Sigilyph if needed. But he'll need 2 Psychics in the or 3 Psychics on it, or 2 Psychics in a Dimension Valley. I think that's what it's called. So we see Gengar gets a Psychic Energy. There's a Float Stone. We'll probably see a pass here from Kenton. Or just put the Wobbuffet down. Probably saves Wobbuffet. Let it be like a surprise card if Scott doesn't know about it. So on Scott's turn, he needs to get a Garbodor out and a Float Stone to knock out the Sigilyph. If Scott can Quake and Punch too, that'd be good. If he could Quake a Punch and then start the Megaphone at the same time too, that'd be really good. So we see a Crushing Hammer. So now we see all 4 Crushing Hammers are gone now. Scott's 1 for No. 3 for 5. How many does these flip? 1 for crush hammer. Missed 1, got 1. Poison. So 4 for 5? Yeah. I don't know. Could be wrong. No, 3 for 4. Sorry. So we see Henry going to Mewtwo. He's saying, look, you're not going to X-Ball me. You're going to X-Ball me today, Ken. You're going to have to get some stuff out to do this. Now he needs a... He can't even get a muscle bit on it. So we see Skylar from Scott. Imagine if he doesn't have a supporter, he gets another supporter. Maybe he has a Garbodor hand, he'll get a Flowstone. I don't know, you can never tell what's in the right person's hand. I can never see their hand too good. I can only see the left person's. So never see a Juniper, that means Scott doesn't have anything really. And then let's see, what can Scott do? Just X-Ball. He can't even X-Ball, he just said. Scott just says X-Ball for squat. So we see a Wobbuffet. Burst Seeker, probably get it. And a Colress. We already have that in there. So these are the Colress for 7. They're pretty good. It's like playing a Juniper without discarding your stuff. This video is sponsored by Water. Alright, so we got 7 cards in Kenton's hands. Question is, what does Kenton need? There's a DCE. We know Scott's all out of Crush Hammers, but how many Hand Hammers does he have left? Burst Seeker for the Colress, just in case he Quake punches again next turn. He's ready to go. They ever see a Verbank, which is interesting. Ken says, never mind. Chooks, I'm just kidding. Alright, and then passes to Scott's turn. Never see another water going to the Seismatoad. There's another Toad. There's a switch. So smart for Kenton to play the Burst Seeker and everything. And then Juniper. Now I think Scott tried to give him a high five. Alright, so let's see here. Scott's going to Quake a punch for sure. Question is, can he get the Garbodor? Alright, so we see a laser. Smart of Kenton not to drop the Verbank. Oh, Sigilyph stays asleep. There's a Muscle Band. Doesn't really matter right now. And Muscle Band goes into the Trubbish. Interesting. Looks like Scott only has 2 cards in his hand though. Does he want to Ultra Ball those 2 away? Or maybe he has 3. Okay, so he has 3 cards in his hand. No, they only had 2. So we see a Water and a Lysander. Gets the Garbodor out probably. There we go. Now he's going to be able to Quake Punch. Quack and Punch for 60. The only thing is if he had the Verbank out, the Sigilyph would die come back into Scott's turn, but since he doesn't, and if Kenton wakes up, he's going to be able to retreat the Sigilyph, and all that stuff's going to be wasted. So now we see a Quake Punch. Scott says 80, but it doesn't work. Or it's not 80 because Verbank's not out. But Kenton does flip tails, so the Sigilyph is going to stay active and die from Scott's Quake Punch next turn. If Scott does Quake Punch, he could do something else. I don't know. So Colress for 7. Kenton needs to get probably a Psychic Energy or something, so he can start Dark Corridor. I think that's what it's called. Big Colress for 9. Very nice. There's a Psychic Energy. Let's see, what else does Kenton have? Doesn't seem like he has much as anything. I can't think of anything else he really wants to put down. Now he just flips again. Oh, there we go, Sigilyph. So Kenton's 2 for 3 on flips right now, I think. Scott's a little bit more. I think he's X and 1. Or, you know, missed 1 flip so far. They're both missing 1 flip so far, but Scott's flipped more coins so far. So we see an end from Scott. The book will get 6. It's a very slow game 1, but usually Seismatoad is a slow deck. Slow and steady wins the race. So. So let's see, 6 and 6. Now what does Scott need? He probably needs a water energy onto the bench Seismatoad. Start setting up another Seismatoad, maybe another DCE. I'd rather like it if we attach another water to it. So let's see here. So there's a DC. Just get ready just in case if that active Seismatoad does die. Oh, Scott almost took 2 prizes, but he didn't do it. Alright, so on to Kenton's turn. So Kenton's going to be able to start Dark Corridoring. I think that's what it's called. I could be wrong. It does 6 damage, poisons it, and you get to send it back to your bench. So you can set up a Sigilyph, you can set up a Robo, whatever you need to. Since it's the finals, we get best 2 out of 3, no matter what. But this whole city championship has been best 2 out of 3, which is really nice. Thank you, Clay, for doing that. Gave people opportunity to do stuff. But was he a Lysander Kenton's hand? So he's going to Lysander this Mewtwo. So it does 170 because 60 plus the muscle band plus weakness. So it does 80, the weakness, 160, poison, 170. Sorry, it took me a second to figure out what's going on. There's the easy 2 prizes from Kenton. Kenton said, I don't have to knock out your Seismatoad, I'm just going to kill your Mewtwo that you dropped. And so he sends up Substitute, which is very nice. He can Quake Punch it. So now Scott's going to Lysander his Mewtwo. And he's just going to Quake Punch for 30. Or 50, sorry. So he's going to need a DC, and there we go. I think that's his 3rd DC too, if I remember correctly. I could be wrong. Maybe it's only 2nd. But Kenton does have a lot of cards in his hand. The question is, what does he want to drop down? Seems like he might just retreat in Dark Corridor. Let's see, that's what he just does. So he sends the Gengar. He has all these supporters in hand, but he doesn't really want to play any of it. So yeah, we just see a Dark Corridor. Look, I could be wrong, kids. Maybe I should look it up and see what it's called. Wi-Fi's not working for me right now currently. Sorry. But we see a 90 damage. If Scott can't retreat the Seismatoad, it's going to get knocked out next turn from a Gengar. And then all Kid has to do is slice into the Jirachi. I don't think it's Psychic Resist. It might be. I could be wrong. So we see a Coerce for a whole 8 cards. Scott needs to hit a switch. Sorry I'm not up to date on all the cards. I'm not as good as Puka. Maybe one day I'll be. But currently, well, we are working on the kids. Also, Scott has attached energy for turn. So if he wants to, he can attach a water to the active if he gets a switch. And threaten like a Grenade Hammer later on in the game. But he needs a switch right now. Does he get it? So there's your Enhanced Hammer with the double colors. So Kent might be out 2-3 DCs. I can't remember exactly. So there's a DC from Scott. And a switch. Scott is just running hot right now. So we're going to see another Quack and Punch for 30. Kill the Substitute, take no prize. So he'll probably just send the Sigilyph for retreat with the Floatstone. So he top decks the Lysander. And a Dimension Valley, which makes it where your Psychic Pokemon have one less colorless attack. So now all Kid needs is a Psychic Energy, and he's able to use Dimension Valley. Which is really good because now Wybeffect can use the effect of Dimension Valley too. Because it needs a Psychic and a colorless attack, but with Dimension Valley in play, you only need a Psychic Energy. Also with Dimension Valley, it just makes it where you have to have 2 Psychic Energies on a Gengar to attack. So here you see Kenton whiff the energy, kind of pumps his fist from frustration. But next turn, Scott's not going to be able to one-shot this Sigilyph, no matter what. But Kent's like, I'm just gonna retreat anyway. Kind of curious why he retreated. I guess he wants to save the Sigilyph, just in case he flips a laser. So we see a Herring from Scott, attaches a Mewtwo. Kind of interesting. Kind of want to see it on the other Gengar that he just laid down. Maybe Scott's scared of Mewtwo X-balling a Seismatoad. Here we see another Vermin counter the Dimension Valley, which it kind of makes things interesting. The poison mat doesn't really matter right now from Gengar because he's swinging 90 no matter what. But if he didn't have a muscle band, he would 6, 7, 8. Okay. Oh yeah, it's 90 because of poison no matter what. But if he didn't have the muscle band, it would do 90 because of Verbank now. So we see a laser, flips the heads, 9 out Wobbuffet. Nice knowing you. So Scott's only missed 1 flip so far, if I remember correctly this game. So he's running hot right now. Kenton flips the second tail. So we see another energy from Kenton. So we see 2 muscle bands on Lysander. But Kenton doesn't want to play that Lysander right now. There's no point. So Wobbuffet wakes up. But it's going to die coming back into Kenton's turn no matter what. Even if Scott just passes. Which I highly doubt he would do that. So we see another Quake Punch. Sends a Sigilyph. Draws into a substitute. No good. Now here we can see... Oh, he doesn't have the Dimension Valley in place, so Kenton can't even attack with Gengar this turn. Since Scott played the Verbank, kind of forgot about the Dimension Valley being gone. Still a close game, 4-4. Kenton has these baby attackers that Scott has to kill. But then Kenton has the Robo Substitutes and the baby attackers. So even though Scott's been killing a lot of things, he hasn't been taking prizes. Which is annoying with these decks, especially with Donphan too. So Scott's just looking at all his resources. He's probably counting how many lasers he's played. I think he's played 3, maybe 4. I want to say 3. I think there's 1 more left. I could be wrong though. I haven't been keeping tally on the lasers. Scott doesn't need much though, just Quake Punches. Kenton still doesn't have anything. Tells the Ultra Ball. It's not what he needs. Kenton has 2 Ultra Balls. Or no, Ultra Ball, 2 Muscle Band, a Lysander, and a Substitute. Nothing he can do here. I mean, he can Lysander up the Drosh, but he doesn't accomplish anything. Now, coming up on Scott's turn, if he gets a laser, he can knock out the Sigilyph. What Kenton could have done is probably bring up the Garbodor and stall maybe. And make him have where he has to attach a DC to retreat the Garbodor. I don't know, maybe he could do that this turn. Say we see retreat. He's going to use his first type, which puts 30 damage counters on any way he wants to. So he puts it on the Jirachi. He said, you're going to do 30 damage to me, I'm going to do 30 damage to you. But I'm going to take this EX knockout first before you do. So there we see a Muscle Band. Just Scott's going to be doing 50 per turn. Well, Kenton can put 30 damage on the Jirachi every turn. Scott needs like a Water Energy and a way to like Grenade Hammer for a knockout. And if he can do this, he'd be in a really good position. Kenton's kind of dead drawing. Well, they're both kind of dead drawing. They're both just sitting there not really doing anything. But Scott's Crush Hammer heads is what's hurting Kenton a lot. So let's see here. So he does get a Colress. So here we see the play where Kenton just licenses up the Garbodor. He's saying, look, Scott, you better have a way to retreat. Scott's trying to count how many switches, how many DCs have been played. Maybe Garbodor has three retreat costs. It might. I think it does. So we see 30 onto the Jirachi. Does Scott have a way to retreat or not? That's the question right now, kids. Interesting to see that he topped at the course and then decided Lysander. But we'll see. Maybe Kenton finally realized, hey, if I bring up this Garbodor, and if Scott doesn't have a way to retreat, I'll just simply put 30 damage on the Pokemon forever. So that was just a pass from Scott. So now Kid can play all of his tools. Let's see how many tools can he play. Gets rid of the switch. No need to have that anymore. Just try to net more with the Colress. There was the Ultra Ball, getting nothing. Then you just go play Colress. Kenton's trying his best to get an energy. An energy and a Lysander. Or just a Dimension Valley Lysander. Not sure how many Dimension Valleys he plays. So here we get, what, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Because of Colress. So there's a Psychic Energy. He has a Dash Machine for next turn to get the Lysander. Question is, does he use the Dash Machine now to get the Lysander? Or does he hold on to his hand? So here we're just going to use it right now. Discard a substitute, an N. There's the Lysander. Just in case he starts Quaker Punches next turn. Or if he ends with a 2. He'd be able to draw more likely into the Lysander. But here we just see a Dark Corridor from Kenton. Interesting to see that he didn't even put 30 on the Jirachi. Maybe he's saying, hey, you're not going to hurt the Sigilyph ever again. You're going to have the Lysander around the Sigilyph. But now Kenton has to take 2 more knockouts. So we see Scott drops another Trubbish. Floatstone. There's an end from him. So no, kind of questionable play by Kenton. Kind of, well, I guess no matter what, he's, no, still not a knockout. I mean, it's not a game. I don't know. I'd rather him see the knockout on the Jirachi and the next turn to slice up the Toad for game. But Kenton has made it to Worlds twice, so, you know, he knows what he's doing. He has a game plan. Scott accidentally flipped 5 cards, or drew 5 cards, but he showed Kenton saying, hey, I messed up. But, you know, accidents happen. We know what's wrong. I mean, we know how to fix stuff. So Scott's probably going to Quake Punch here. So we see another Psychic Energy going to the Gengar. He's probably going Night Corridor, do 110. Scott would need another way to retreat this Seismatoad, or it's going to get knocked out. I see a trump card in Kenton's hand, but I don't think he should play that. He doesn't really need to this late in the game. So we see a Night Corridor for 110. And now Scott's going to need to switch. Or if he doesn't, Kenton probably has his game in the bag. It already looks like he has the game in the bag. So there we see a Garbodor. There's a Floatstone. So he does have a way to switch. Since it's the fresh new Garbodor, I mean, this fresh new Seismatoad. Sorry about the camera shaking. I'm not really sure what's going on. So here we see a computer search from Scott. I don't know what he's going to get. Scott wants to. He can computer search up the Mewtwo, maybe? I don't know. A lot of decisions he can make. So he computer searched away his only cards left. What does he get? It's interesting. Scott discard all that stuff right now. So ever see a Verse Seeker? Maybe Scott's like, I'm gonna get a Lysander next turn no matter what or something. It looks like Scott's almost in a resource too. His deck looks fairly thin. Scott has a really good Donphan matchup with these Seismatoads, but it's really hard to knock out these Gengars with 180 HP. Or 170. I think it's 180 though. Like I said, I'm not 100% sure on my cards right now. So we see Scott gets the drops the Burst Seeker. We go Kid counts the rest of his deck. Notices he doesn't have much. Imagine Scott just gets a Lysander for next turn. Or for this turn, sorry. Question is, who does he bring up with the Lysander? He can bring up the Mewtwo and just Quick Punch it and hope he doesn't have a way to retreat it. But we'll see what happens. Scott's trying to counting up all his Lysanders and stuff. So he brings up the Mewtwo with no damage on it. So we see Kenton just drawn to nothing really. He just passes here. So now it's just going to be a turn of just Quake punching. There's a DCE from Kenton. So we see a Dark Quarter for 110. So now Scott needs another Lysander to bring it up. I'm pretty sure that's Kenton's 4th DC. Time to see what Scott can do. Draws it a card. Every time Scott's done something, it looks like Kenton just has like a response. So we see Scott just scoops game 1. So you see Kenton had a bunch of supporters left anyway. So I don't know. I don't know. It's hard to say what was a good play. And I guess in the end it didn't matter that he didn't bring up the didn't kill the Jirachi. I don't know. Interesting games. If Scott can get a quick Quake Punch, it might seem like it might be able to slow Kenton down. Like I said, it's just Gengar has too much HP, and Seismatoad doesn't do that much damage unless you Grenade Hammer. Once you Grenade Hammer, you lift the lockup from the items. So it's an interesting matchup. You can see why Gengar is really good against Seismatoad. I feel like Gengar might be a really good play if your field's full of Donphans and Seismatoads. But if your field's full of Eviltals and Virgins and Genesects, then it might be a bad matchup because the poison never kicks in. And with Eviltal, you're dying from weakness. But Kenton did beat Mr. Compost today in Swiss when he was playing Eviltal, as we saw earlier. So I don't know. Anything can happen in Pokemon. So we see Scott going first. Starts with Trubbish. Kenton starts with Gengar. So let's see what happens turn 1. Does Scott have anything? He looks like he's waiting. So we'll see a Laser. Alright. Scott's been pretty good on heads today. Oh, that's not a Metagross. That's a Dialga, maybe? Maybe the Dialga coin's loaded. I don't know. It is a Pokemon coin. So here we see an Ultra Ball for water and a Colress. I imagine he gets a Seismatoad out. Try to pressure the Quake Punch. Oh, a Jirachi. Ooh, that Jirachi came in clutch both games so far. Now, if Scott gets in, I'm pretty sure Kenton's hand is like crap right now. So we see it in. Yeah, I think Kenton's excited right now because I'm pretty sure if I remember correctly from what I saw, his hand was really bad. Yeah, Kenton's just saying to Scott like, my hand was trash. Thank you for ending me. Scott's probably like, oh poop. Probably should have grabbed a Juniper. But I don't know. It's hard to say what's going on turn 1. Now, if Kenton can get all of his substitutes down and everything next turn before Scott can get his Seismatoad online, he'd be really good. So we see a DC Enhanced Hammer Gengar Muscle Band from Kenton. Once again, I can't really see the person in the right hand and the person in the right, what their hand is. But here we see a Wide Energy, Trubbish. Scott's threatening that turn 2 Quake Punch. Kenton forgot to flip for a poison. Heads. Take the 10 damage. Alright, so where do we attach the muscle band to? Probably to the bench guy, just in case the active dies. Yep. Now you know Scott plays Enhanced Hammer, so you don't want to drop the DC early. You want to try to get a Psychic Energy. But here Kenton saying, you know what, I don't care. Do whatever. Maybe Kenton can read Scott and was like, hey, you don't have anything, I can see. So we see a Sigilyph come down. We see a Vibe Effect in Kenton's hand, but does he want to drop it is the question. You don't want to get him more cards off Chorus than needs to be. So we see it just a pass from Kenton. Then we see a Water Energy. Does Scott have a... There we go. He's probably going to get a Float Stone. And start Quaking Punching. Pretty good, pretty good. This guy's having a strong game so far. But what does Kenton need next turn? Kenton can maybe get like a Psychic Energy, start placing 30 with his first deck. Here we see just a Quaking Punch from Scott. So we see a Psychic Energy attached to the bench. Gengar. Debating on dropping the Wobbuffet. Can't see a why not. Okay, that Wobbuffet, why not? Oh, Jesus. So we see a Skylight from Kenton. He's probably going to get another supporter, maybe in Colwest, I don't know. Can't see him grabbing that item card. Because Kenton knows he was going to be on item lock for the rest of this game. So we see a Dimension Valley. It's kind of interesting. I don't know what Kenton's thinking. So we just see a pass. Maybe next turn if Kenton has an energy or something, and he's able to retreat the Gengar, he can attack. Maybe we see just another Quake Punch from Scott. It's going pretty bad right now currently. So we see a DC, Dimension Valley, a Wobbuffet. I guess he's going to try to set up a knockout with the Wobbuffet next turn. Because he's going to be able to Dark Quarter this turn. And bring him up to 90. And then next turn, if he can get a Psychic Energy onto the Wobbuffet, he can... I forget what... I don't know what that deck's called. But he can do 110 back to Seismatoad. Question is, what does Scott have? Right now he's been dead drawing with a Skyla he got with a Floatstone. Let's see here. Debating what to do. Probably Life Center of the Gengar. Trying to just stall for time. So we just see a Quago Punch, bring it up to 140. So Kid does have energy to retreat. I think it only needs one energy. No, it needs two. I remember. Yeah, so it needs two. So here Ken's like, hey, that card's poison, man. What are you doing? You cheating. But Ken attaches the other psychic to the Gengar. He's saying, look, if you flip a Enhanced Hammer or Crush Hammer, I'm gonna have a way to attack with this Gengar no matter what. I am ready to go. So let's see. Kenton gets what? 7 cards. So let's see what happens. Kenton can't retreat because they're detached. So here we see his first attack do 30. Yeah, so he's just gonna try to snipe that Jirachi down. Well, he can't do anything else. I forgot that he could do that with the Dimension Valley in play. And we see an Ultra Ball. Does Scott play another Jirachi? Nope, gets the Seismatoad. To say if Scott has another Jirachi, he could probably get back into this game. Even though it's tied 6-6 prizes and Scott's going to take a knockout this turn, Kenton has a better board position with that Gengar set up so much. Question is, what is Scott's one card? So let's see here. Oh, and an N. There we go. Very nice, Scott. So Scott's like, do I have to shuffle my deck, or you kind of take the top 6? And Ken's like, I don't care. So Ken just lets him draw the top 6. Scott just asked him how he did 30 damage, but of course he has the Dimension Valley in play. So let's see here. Does Scott get like a switch and a DCE? Nope, just a Water Energy. So at least he's going to be able to Quake a Punch again this turn. Knockout Gengar, if it has 170, like I think. Yeah. See a Crushing Hammer. Can Scott continue his head flips? Oh, and he does. Scott is just on a roll. Roll. I was going to say, if Scott had like an enhanced tail or something, it'd be crazy. But here we see a Mewtwo. Let's see here. Another Psychic Energy just in case he plays another Crushing Hammer or something. Here we see another just Dark Corridor for 110. Top 4-4 on prizes. Can Scott get another Water Energy? We can start Quake Punching again. But once he Quakes the Punch, Ken's just going to Dark Corridor again and put that Seismatoad back at 110 110 damage. I don't know, just seems like a bad matchup for Toad. It's kind of hard to kill, like I said earlier, it's just hard to kill these Gengars. You can't hit for weakness. So Scott discards, use the Ultra Ball, discard a Switch and a Juniper. Imagine he wants to get a Garbodor unlocked so that way Ken can't stall with a Sigilyph maybe. But either way, Ken can't drop a Floatstone to ever retreat the Sigilyph. So Ken's kind of in a weird position next turn after if Scott can't Quake a Punch this turn. Right now he can't, obviously. So what does Scott wants to get with this Ultra Ball? Maybe another Seismatoad. Probably, I would say a Garbodor. So another Seismatoad, which is fine. Question is, does Scott have another energy to Quake a Punch this turn or not? So we see a Verse Seeker. Probably gets an N. Or a Course. So a Course. Very nice. So he's going to have a Course for 8. Scott really needs energy this turn. If Scott can get an Enhanced Hammer and like a Verbank, he'll be able to make it where Ken has to get another energy on that Gengar to attack next turn. So we'll see what happens. Get 8, 6, 7, 8. Scott getting the energy. Time to find out. So Crushing Hammer. Scott's on a roll. Let's see if he continues. Nope. Oh, there's the 4th Crushing Hammer. Oh. So it's the Psychic. And the Enhanced Hammer. Holy cow. And the Verbank. Whoa. Alright. So Scott had an amazing card. And Smart Energy. So Scott had a pretty good 8 cards. 2 Crushing Hammers, an Enhanced Hammer, and a Verbank. But Kenton responds to the DC. He's like, I don't care. That's why I attached all those extra energies to Gengar. So Kenton made that fist because he top decked the DC. He's like, thank you. This guy was like, I don't know what's going on. Why are you fist pumping? And he's like, because I top decked the DC. But the question is, who does Kenton swing into when he does this Night Corridor? Can't play any of his cards right now, which is a big problem. So he's going to Dark Corridor or Night Corridor. into Sigilyph. Put 110. Now if Scott does have no, never mind. Tyster has 180 HP. If it had 170 HP, if Scott just couldn't retreat the Seismatoad, Kim would just path, knock it out. But since it has 180, makes it interesting. So we see a computer search. Maybe get a DCE or a switch. Needs one of those cards to just protect this Seismatoad from dying. So we see 2 ends. Holy cow. Maybe Scott's last card is a Juniper or something. Of course, we can't see what it is because computer search. Scott's just checking his deck just to make sure, you know, nothing's too crazy in those last 4 prizes. Once again, shout out to Samantha Martin for her mat. She makes a lot of our friends mats. She's really good at it, as you can see. She's an art teacher. So here we see a laser, tails. So enhanced hammer. So Scott either computer search for the, I don't know which one he computer search for. So now Scott's in top deck mode, which I don't like a lot. But I mean, let's see. The Sigilyph dies going back to Kenton's turn no matter what. The Seismatoad is going to be at 140 HP, but Scott needs DC or something. Scott has no cards in his hand right now. Or no cards in his hand right now. As he can, it's just full of nothing really. So there's a 6 pass. Holy cow, and Scott top decks to Juniper. Thank you, Jesus. Shout out to you. So does Scott get a switch DCE? That's what he really needs right now. Or at least just a switch. So Headringer the Mewtwo. Which we haven't seen Kenton at Expo at all of his games. But there's always a possibility, but since he put the Headring on there, there's no way he can Headringer. I mean, X-Ball. Well, since Kenton does have the Dimension Valley, he can X-Ball for just a DC, and so the Headringer doesn't make that much of a difference. But the problem is right now is this poison from Gengar is just doing so much to this Seismatoad. Scott's frustrated. He must have missed a switch or something. I'm not sure which piece of the puzzle he missed. Maybe both. So yeah, they both just die from poison. Can't go down to 2 cards. I'm not sure if the order was correct or not of how the prizes are drawn and everything. Scott was trying to get the camera finger, but he couldn't. So you see, Ken has all these cards in his hand, but he can't do anything really. I mean, he could end, but he's just gonna put 30 damage on that Jirachi. He's saying, look, you're gonna have to. I'm taking this knock on the Jirachi next turn, and I'm winning this game. Scott's just making sure there ain't nothing he can do for preventing this to happen. Scott needed like an AZ or a Max Potion or something to save this Jirachi. See, Scott's just debating his life right now. What do I do? Let's see. Scott has a Lysander. Probably bring up a Mewtwo. Or brings up the Wobbuffet. Okay. But we see Kenton does have Floatstone in hand. So if he doesn't, if Scott's not able to Quick Punch, he's gonna win next turn. We see a laser with tails. So let's see. He just passes. Floatstone puts 30 on the Jirachi, and Kenton wins the game. Holy cow! Both Garbodors are prized. That stinks. But doesn't matter that much because the Sigilyph died because of poison. But Thanks for watching, and have a good day.